having a good day today. You know what I'm saying? This is Friday, July the 17th, 2020. And hey man, thanks for checking out this story. It's your boy Rebuke All Devils back to you live in the spirit, man. And we bring you this story, man. I don't know if y'all heard about this, but this is a KKK president charged with hate crimes in Henrico. Okay? Let's check this out. This story was brought to us by News 6 by Brandon King, WTVR CBS 6 web staff. So, excuse me. Want to say shout out to Brandon King for bringing us this story. And let's go ahead and get into the details, family, and see what transpired. Okay, here we go. Henrico County, Virginia. Henrico prosecutors have charged the self-proclaimed Grand Dragon of the KKK with 4 hate crimes in connection to a June 7th incident in which Harry Rogers is accused of hitting Black Lives Matter protesters with his truck. I have no doubt Mr. Rogers was motivated by bigotry and racism and should be severely punished for his egregious criminal behavior, Henrico Commonwealth Attorney Shannon Taylor said following a court hearing Thursday. So let me just pause right there and say shout out to Attorney Shannon Taylor for her taking a stance against bigotry, hatred, and racism. We thank you so much. You know, Ms. Taylor, we need more people like you in those type of positions to take that just stand that you took. That's very good, you know, and I applaud you on that. I applaud you on that. Thank you very much, you know, for standing up for the people in your community. I am charging Mr. Rogers with the strongest form of assault and hate crimes permitted under Virginia law. Rogers, 36, of Hanover, is now charged with, let's hear his charges. 4 counts of assault with hate crimes as permitted by Virginia Code 18.2-57A, 2 counts of felonious attempted malicious wounding, 1 count of felony hit and run. After further in-depth investigation, where we spoke with over 24 witnesses and several victims, I determined that additional charges were warranted, Taylor said. Rogers appeared in Henrico County Circuit Court for a bond appeal on Thursday morning. In court, Chief Deputy Commonwealth's Attorney Michael S. Huberman said on June 7th, a group of about 300 people marched down Lakeside Avenue during an organized Black Lives Matter protest that was advertised on Facebook. As the protesters marched north on Lakeside Avenue, Rogers was driving south. He made a U-turn over the median, according to investigators. So man, he didn't even wait for his turn at the light, man. You know what I'm saying? He made a U-turn over the median, which is also reckless driving and endangering lives. You know, we all have to follow the laws of the land, and we all have to follow the traffic laws. So, Mr. Rogers, you are no different. Huberman said Rogers passed cars that were behind the protesters in order to get to the marchers. So it's clear that he was driving reckless on that day, on June the 7th. While Rogers revved his engine to intimidate the protesters, 2 bicyclists were struck, investigators said. Another woman jumped on the hood of Rogers' truck in order not to get run over, according to police. Man, that guy was tripping on that day, wasn't he? Rogers' attorney, George Townsend, showed a 2-second clip of Rogers' truck striking the 2 bicyclists. Townsend argued one bicyclist intentionally moved his body and bike to the left and into the path of the truck. The protesters had multiple opportunities to get away, Townsend argued. A protester also threw a water bottle hitting the truck. Well, see, Mr. Townsend, what's wrong with that argument that you're making is the fact that your client jumped the median and then passed several cars to get to the protesters. So that right there shows the ill intent that your client had. Or should I say the racist, ill, and dangerous intent that your client had. And it's sad, Mr. Townsend, that you would even stick up for someone like that for money. All because he paid you money. He hired you to represent him. And instead of you turning the money down because obviously what he did was wrong, you just wanted the greenbacks. So you would sell your soul and make false accusations against innocent victims for the greenbacks that you accepted from a known racist and KKK Grand Dragon. You should lose your law license. You should be barred from even practicing law, and you are a disgrace to the country and all other lawyers that stand up for truth and justice. Henrico Police Sergeant Wood said Rogers exited his truck and stood in a threatening posture like he could draw his weapon. Oh, so now you now you turned into a cowboy, huh? You had your cowboy stance on, huh? A search of the residence Rogers shared with his girlfriend and their children in Hanover found a Ku Klux Klan robe, a Klan Bible, I didn't even know they existed, KKK paraphernalia, as well as a KKK white power flag, including additional weapons. Wow. Oh my goodness, man. You can't even make this up, man. A Klan Bible, a Ku Klux Klan robe, and KKK paraphernalia, as well as a KKK white power flag. Huberman also cited two separate past incidents involving Rogers and the public. On March 19, 2017, Rogers attempted to order food from the drive-thru at Popeyes on Lebanon Avenue. The employees asked Rogers to pull forward, and he became argumentative, stating he was armed, police said. Police were called and charged him with carrying a concealed weapon without a permit. So he's already a known criminal. You know, the average people go to Popeyes just to get some chicken, man. You know, red beans and rice, you know, some biscuits, some of them good Popeyes French fries, you know what I'm saying? He went up there with illegally carrying a concealed weapon, and I'm glad the police caught him that day. Let's read on. On May 29, 2020, Rogers entered Ortho, Virginia in Henrico County without a mask. The receptionist asked him to put on the mask. Rogers returned wearing a KKK hood and was asked to leave. As he left, he shouted, "White power," according to police. He was not charged. Man, this dude is a loony bin. A racist loony bin. A racist lunatic. Police found Rogers had used racial epithets, including the phrase "Black Lives Splatter," in a Facebook thread days before the Lakeside incident. Police said that Rogers had been communicating with at least one other individual to protect and observe the monuments. Taylor said her office was exploring possible domestic terrorism and child neglect charges against Rogers as well. There was a teenager in his truck at the time of his arrest. So you're acting like that in front of a minor. And see, family, that's a clear example and a look into how racism get passed down from generation to generation to generation. That's a perfect example. Sergeant Wood said Rogers initially told police he was trying to flee after the teenager was struck by protesters. Police, who spoke with 25 witnesses, found no evidence that the teenager was assaulted. So he lied about that too. Rogers was carrying a loaded firearm on his hip, police said, and they found an AR-15 in his truck with a full magazine, as well as two government-style magazines on the top of the center console. The Commonwealth's attorney cited Rogers' well-known belief as the Grand Dragon of the KKK and said he boasted that he was a top official of the KKK in Virginia to police at the scene. Yeah, you a Grand Dragon dumbass. Henrico County Circuit Court Judge John Marshall denied Rogers' bond, citing he was an unreasonable danger to the public. Hey, let's stop for a moment. Another applause for Henrico County Circuit Court Judge John Marshall, who denied this lunatic and this menace to society and this Neanderthal bond because he was and he is an unreasonable danger to the public. And that's what we have to do to everybody that acts like this. They need to be locked up and taken up out of society because they clearly demonstrate that they cannot coexist with other peaceful people in society. Marshall said Rogers put himself in that situation by operating a vehicle in the manner that endangers life and property. And that's exactly what he did, because we all have choices. We could choose to be law-abiding citizens, or we could choose to be criminals. The choice is ours, and the majority of us choose to be law-abiding citizens. Let's check out this video right quick and see what Brandon King has to say on the matter.
Right now, Harry Rogers faces 7 new charges here in Henrico County. Prosecutors say they charged him with the strongest form of assault and hate crimes permitted under Virginia law.
Shame! White supremacists!
This man in handcuffs, Harry Rogers, now faces hate crime charges.
We are aiming to ensure that the citizens know that this behavior will not be tolerated.
Henrico Commonwealth's Attorney Shannon Taylor announced the additional charges Thursday morning against the self-proclaimed Grand Dragon of the KKK. Police say on June 7th, the 36-year-old intentionally U-turned and bypassed cars to get to Black Lives Matter protesters marching down Lakeside Avenue.
The defendant purposefully put himself in that situation.
Prosecutors say Rogers revved his engine to intimidate the crowd. They say he ran over the foot of one cyclist and hit 2 more protesters. They've asked for the public's help identifying one victim.
This has been about 2 hours of us waiting.
Police say Rogers was armed with a loaded gun on his hip. A search warrant of Rogers' truck found an AR-15 with a full magazine and more ammunition sitting on the center console. Rogers' defense attorney argued the protesters had multiple opportunities to get away and no one required medical attention, but the judge denied him bond.
And what he described was a manner that endangered the life and property of everyone involved that day.
If convicted, he faces crimes that carry serious jail time.
Each misdemeanor has up to 12 months, and the felonies that we have are the Class 6 felonies, that those carries 1 to 5 years.
Taylor says Rogers was motivated by bigotry and racism.
The hatred that we believe to be part of the intent of these crimes will not be tolerated in Henrico County.
Rogers initially told police that he was attempting to get away from the protesters after his teenage passenger was assaulted, but police said in court today they found no evidence of that. I reached out to his defense attorney for a comment. They're due back in court in August. Working for you in Henrico County, I'm Brennan King, CBS 6 News.
All right. So there you have it, family. What a disturbing case of racism and bigotry and hatred in America. So, family, let me know what y'all think about this. Are y'all glad that he's in jail? Do you think he should have been released on bond? Do you think his actions were justified? Do you think it's okay to hate someone? Clearly for the way the Most High created them. Please like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to hit on that notification bell. Don't forget to click on all too, so you get a notice every time I drop a video. And leave your comments below and let me know what y'all think about this story and how y'all feel about it. And as always, family, I say a big shalom. Have a safe and blessed Shabbat and weekend, and I'll see y'all on the next episode.